Hello, I'm Edward, let's do it again, boy, Frizzell, and I'm joined by...
Simon, Sinead O'Connor, Jeffrey.
Lovely. We're watching Total Ambush today, film from 2004. Do you have any involvement in
I
this?
just was wondering what that credit was at the beginning. Dynamic Peer Films?
Yes, because we went through a stage of each individual person in Milan Entertainment would have their own company name.
And I was competitive.
I was Dynamic.
Yeah.
And Daniel was Peer. I had the idea for this film, and this was hot off the back of Musha.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was I'd watched Saving Private Ryan and loved the idea of making a war film, something gritty and action. And I figured, well, I can't make a period
No budget.
film with no budget. So why don't I make something set in the near future? My biggest regret about this film, if I could remaster this and reshoot this, I wonder if I could split the screen there.
Wait a minute, guys.
I reckon I could. Poor start to what I think actually ends quite...
James cannot keep a straight face, can he?
No, he's just always on the edges.
He's just so full of joy.
It's just loving life. Also, what am I wearing? Double denim
Double denim and a dressing gown.
A dressing gown bandana.
Did you think that was cool?
I wanted to look like Solid Snake from...
What's Dan's name in this film?
Lent.
Okay, good.
Take them.
So this was like a alternate future, or it wasn't even a future then. This is the past now, 2015. But
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
2015.
But
Yeah.
This was a kind of... This is World War III, essentially.
Yeah.
But a kind of neo-Nazi read.
I'd read about neo-Nazis, and I remember finding that a bit interesting.
So it's essentially...
the idea
setup
that there
is
were still people that thought that way.
Basically... It's basically World War II is kind of on again.
On again, yeah. Someone's got a grudge.
Yeah. It just looks like fun to film, though, this stuff, as kids.
It was...
Just let's be soldiers! There's a lot of kind of visual stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, filming this, relying on a lot of effects, and knowing that there was going to be a lot of effects needed.
So this was between AOD and APV.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I guess, was a bit of a kind of training ground for the effects for APV, was it? Was this a sort of... Was this where we learnt all this stuff?
Yeah, we...
Because AOD doesn't have like muzzle flashes and stuff, and
No,
very limited.
no,
visual
you're right.
effects.
And I'm trying to think now... I mean, you weren't in this,
No, but
and
I
nor
edited it.
nor was Rob.
No, but
I think Rob
because
would-
you filmed it very quickly.
I think Rob had gone to France with my parents.
Right.
I was home alone. I should have taken advantage of that. Should have got on Tinder. Yeah, I remember when we done that shot, I thought
again, over and over again.
we have made it.
You got some cool tank footage that actually...
Yeah, that's
that
my
actually
dad driving a tank.
cuts in pretty well
Yeah.
in terms of colour and stuff.
I mean, it's 4x3 stretch, which is upsetting to this day. But
Even that, like the debris is an effect there.
yeah,
Like we were really making the most of these like overlays that we found, and I think it was. I think I offered to edit this because you kind of had run out of steam a little bit. The way I
by
remember.
that point, yeah, I had, yeah.
Or you just kind of maybe weren't really like you wanted to see it done, but you didn't have the
And
stamina.
it's
really
not because I didn't believe in it or didn't like it. It was just I'm out.
You needed just to pass the baton to someone else at that point. Yeah.
And I think, and that's happened a few times, I think, where I focused all my energy into the production of something that sometimes by the post-production stage, I've found it helpful and obviously appreciative that someone like yourself can come in and...
You can lose sight of what you've actually shot after a while.
Yeah.
You can think you've done one thing and it's not what you've shot.
Yeah.
So the essential thing that obviously what I remember of this is the battle stuff, but that's gone now. And the bulk of the film is still to come.
Mm.
So essentially it comes down to that theme that we visited time and time again of like being trapped
Isolation.
being trapped in a space.
It is a theme we keep returning to.
Like both of us, even independently of each other. Like my project's off at the university.
And not consciously thinking about it. Just like, it's something that fascinates me, and
it also breeds drama when you force people to interact. Because if characters who don't like each other in real life, they would just like avoid each other.
Yeah.
But if you trap them together,
they have to.
You have to.
They have to coexist.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I would necessarily antagonists, but they don't agree on Star Wars.
No, and there isn't an antagonist in this, other than the situation.
But that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to make this film now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't make it neo-Nazis. I wouldn't make it all of that. But
essentially
the setup, I would do it the same.
Would be hauled up together for safety, and attention and decision making. It has to be done.
Yeah.
When you think 7 Days of Plague, that's like what you and I do in that scene together. Definitely in like the Separatist and Savage Land that I did, there's either they're hiding from the government or they're hiding from the environment, but it's all the same of being like those people would never hang out together normally, and it's that kind of.
But they're forced to, and they know.
Because
separately they won't be able to.
Because it works in terms of it, like as a scriptwriter, you would never have just a long period of silence if there's conflict in the room. So you've got characters that don't always agree on stuff that there's nothing interesting about. Happy families.
No.
In film, I mean, obviously in real life that's the ideal, but
absolutely.
But it's got a kind of bleak sense to it of impending doom.
Yeah, and sorry, I remember this is one of the first times you and I sat there during editing and thought, let's just leave the shot going.
This one?
Yeah. And we do it on a couple of shots, and I mean, I've watched the film with, an adult hat on.
Yeah.
Analytically looking at it and thinking, actually, that's quite astute to do that at this point.
Well, it was popular with quite a few adults, I think. Certainly Connor from the Kent Institute of Art and Design. I got given an unconditional offer when I showed this video as part of my application.
This is not a lie. When Simon and I were going to university, we used each other's film. As part of our show reels.
You used Finch?
I used Finch.
Or did you didn't use the shorter version of it, did you?
No, I used the full full film.
Maybe cut a different version of it or something. But had you already been for an interview? I felt for some reason I couldn't use my own film, so I used this instead. And I remember him saying like, so what did you do on this? And I was like, I edited it, and as I was saying it didn't sound enough, so I was like, I also shot it and directed it.
Shot it, directed it, I didn't write it.
Yeah. I don't think we watched this much of it, but it was mostly like the battle scene and the beginning of the...
it's that explosive start, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously at the time it was something I was willing to show.
Yeah.
As something I was proud of. Because it shows thought.
This is one of the films that, from our back catalogue, and I'm talking about the early noughties, from that era, that I kind of get the sense, here comes the change. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, this was pre-APV, so you could say that we took a back step. Not in terms of, like, editing quality.
Or technical ability.
APV is put together quite well, actually.
Yeah.
But what is put together is just a load of daft nonsense. But
it was an excuse to
it's a far better edit than the edit of AOD.
Oh, absolutely.
In terms of like the shots that cut together, the coverage that we got on stuff.
And it's a shame. I mean, you look at that era, and we had this, we had APV, we had Finch, and then we went into Modern Cowboy. And I think that's
Modern Cowboys was
something that
mystic.
left a bad taste in our mouth for a long time.
Yeah.
That I mean, these films aren't perfect. They're not. Some of them aren't good, but
No.
they are. Like I watched this. This is not a good film, but you can see sparks of inspiration, which I think
You
is
could see
very
a trajectory
encouraging.
that was like, yes, I want to.
If we carry
Go
on
that
this
way.
course,
Whereas
yeah,
you wouldn't want to keep going the direction Modern Cowboys.
yeah, exactly, and it's a shame, really. And I mean, even after Modern Cowboys, like what was next? It's Genius, which again,
well,
like is sinking down there.
Modern Cowboys was a bit of an end of an era in a way because I moved away shortly after. I wasn't quite so nearby, and then
Was that when you?
well, I moved away kind of
2006.
2006.
We started Norman's book by then, though, so I suppose
Yeah.
the want to move in the direction that we had been moving was there.
But
still.
I'd moved by Norman's book, like.
By the time we started on Norman's, oh yeah, of course, because
Yeah.
you were going to play Chris, and then you.
That was the
you
reason
did,
I played the role I did. But also when you and Dave became much more involved with doing stuff for MySpace, which is what It's Genius and the Psychiatrist really were born out of, was a different approach to
kind of that early
media.
pioneering of.
Yeah, it was a
internet.
shift in
Yeah.
audience, and up until then we hadn't really released anything. We were
At all, yeah.
we were a bit too proud to.
I mean,
really-
this on YouTube is the first time
Yeah.
outside of our circle that people have seen it, other than Connor at Kent University.
He
But
probably kept a copy and shows it to everyone. This is what you can aspire to if you put your mind to it.
Simon, this is fantastic.
I mean, I'm going to give you an unconditional offer right now.
Simon, I'm gonna knight you.
Simon, honest to God. You didn't cross
He
that.
didn't knight you either.
I just remember him being covered in hair.
Wow, ape-like.
Yeah, just hairy palms. So my point is,
No, sorry. So going back to we went on quite a tangent there, but still, the initial idea was always these people being stuck, 3 people, but only 2 people can get out, and that being that psychological decision.
that's me.
So I'm Jeffrey, bad blue screen.
Terrible blue screen, terrible effect.
Remaster won't have that.
Is it going to be a remaster?
I don't know. Although we do have Daniel North styler.
Oh yes. Then yes, I'll reshoot it now.
Please, can you?
Yep.
I'm going to reshoot my bit at the start
Stay
as well.
tuned. Well, you could just blue screen it and face replace yourself.
Can I?
I'm not
Open
doing
my
that.
eyes. I'm going to just give you the footage.
Yeah. I mean, I had planned to get a lot of new films done next year,
But no, let's go back. Look
Well-
at this low quality video. Yeah,
do we have the rights
lovely.
to use this?
I couldn't even tell you where it's from.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah,
Probably a
I-
video game because it doesn't even look that good. Slow title crawl. But yeah, there we go.
You were just starting to tell us where the idea came from. I'm going executive producer on this film. Is that because I wasn't in it?
Yeah, that was always the rule, wasn't it? If you weren't in it, one of the original founders. But no,
No
the crux
idea.
of the idea was I wanted to make
Oh, give it
a
up.
film that I sorry, my dad just pointed. I wanted to have a war scene at the start,
Yes.
but also had the situation where we had 3 people, only 2 could survive,
Yes. Through
and
this
then
plot.
what is the psychological
Yeah.
playing out of that?
Well, it was good.
Thank you.
I remember being very impressed by it, and that's why I'm so excitedly volunteered to edit it, I think, and had great fun doing it. I was very proud of the...
I hope that one day, and soon, I know we're about to end, but we can go back to making... I'm not saying this again, but like...
Back to not putting too much effort into the films and just filming them quickly.
But, you know what I mean.
I know, that's what I want to do.
Just churning them out.
I wish we could just churn them out and they'd be okay.
Just shit after shit. Love it.
I'd rather have loads of okay films, borderline shit.
Because one of them will be good.
Well, no, I'm saying they would all be
All
borderline
of them will be
shit.
shit.
Than one good film that takes like 10 years to make.
Oh god, yeah.
What about one shit film that takes 10 minutes to make? 10 minutes.
10 years. 10 minutes.
to make?
I'd take it.
80. 80's awesome.
Special edition comes in.
Cut. I can
Seriously, stop watching
feel
now.
this already. Try and introduce this one.
Feeling quite drunk.
Drunk.
Yeah. Been drinking Stella. No.